all my friends. So today, me and my friends represent Chapter 10, Developing Compensation Plans. So my name is Alfa Farhana binti Muhammad Rosli. So here is my group member, Kara Christina, Amin Farzana and Rachel. Okay, for this slide, I will be talking about basic factors determining pay rates. So the first one is aligning total rewards with strategy. So first, pay should support the company's goal. This means the way employees are paid should help the organization reach its objective. For example, if innovation is key, they have to reward creativity and skill development. So next, we have equity and its impact on pay rates. So this means fairness. Employees compare their pay with others. Perceived fairness affects motivation, performance and retention. For example, internal equity, which means within the company, and external equity for market rates must be balanced. So the last one, we have addressing equity issues, where the company should fix any pay gaps that exist. They need to be transparent and fair when making pay decisions. Regular reviews of salary structure can also help avoid employee dissatisfaction or turnover. In short, fairness and communication are very important when it comes to pay. So overall, these three factors, aligning pay with strategy, ensuring fairness, and addressing equity issues, are the main things for companies need to think about when deciding pay rates. So next we have compensation policies supporting strategic aims. So what are our strategic aims? Every organization has big goals. For example, they want to grow, make an innovation, cost leadership, and the quality of organization. Compensation policies should be designed to support these goals. For example, if the company wants to be innovative, pay system should reward creativity and skill development. Next is what employee behavior and skills do we need to achieve our strategic aims. Different strategies require different employee behavior. For example, a customer service strategy needs employees to be friendly and service-oriented. A cost reduction strategy needs employees to work efficiently and reduce waste. Next we have equity theory of motivation. So first we have external equity. This means employees compare their salary with people in similar jobs at other companies. If they feel underpaid compared to the market, they may leave for better offers. Next is internal equity. So here, employees compare their pay with others inside the same organization but in different roles. For example, if a manager earns less than someone in a lower position, it feels unfair for them. Internal fairness helps maintain harmony. The third one is individual equity. So this is when employees compare themselves with colleagues who do the same job. If two people in the same position get paid differently without reason, it may cause conflict. That's why performance-based rewards are important. So the last one is procedural equity. This is about how fair and transparent the process of deciding pay is. If the company uses clear policies and fair procedure, employees trust the system even if pay difference exists. So next is legal consideration in compensation. So the first one is Davis-Bacon. So this law applies mainly to construction projects funded by the federal government. It requires employers to pay workers at least the prevailing wage, the standard pay in that local area. The purpose is to prevent contractors from underpaying workers just to win federal projects. So next is Walsh-Haley public contract. So this one applies to companies that have government contracts worth more than 10,000 and it makes sure workers get at least the minimum wage, have safe working conditions and don't work too many hours. So it's meant to protect employees who work on federal projects. Next is title of the civil rights. So this is an anti-discrimination law. Employees cannot set pay rates or benefits based on race, color, religion, sex or national origin. For example, two employees with the same job must be paid fairly regardless of gender or ethnicity. So next, we have Fair Labor Standard Act. One of the most important labor law. It set rule for minimum wage, the lowest legal pay per hour, overtime pay at least 1.5 times the hourly rate for hours above 40 per week, child labour restriction, protecting minors from dangerous work. Almost all employers must comply with FLSA. So the last one, we have exempt versus non-exempt employees. Usually salary workers like manager, professional, they do not get overtime pay even if they work more than 40 hours. Non-exempt employees, usually hourly workers, they must be paid overtime if they work extra hours as required by FLSA. So I will pass to the next person.
Okay, so now I will continue with the exempt and non-exempt job titles. So they have many examples. For example, they have lawyers, medical doctors, dentists, engineers, teachers, scientists, registered nurses, general managers, pharmacists, and administrative employees. For non-exempt, they have paralegals, accounting clerks, bookkeepers, licensed practitioners, clerical employees, most secretaries, and lab technicians. So how to determine exempt or non-exempt? For step 1, salary basis test. Is the employee paid at least $455 per week, not subject to reduction due to variations in quantity of or quality of the work performed? If no, the employee is not exempt. Step 2 is exemption applicability. Does the employee perform any of the following types of duty or jobs? The executive, administrative, professional, creative, which is the employee whose work requires highly advanced knowledge or education, creative and artistic, professional, computer professional, and outside sales. If no, the employee is not exempt. Step 3 is job analysis. A thorough analysis of the job duties must be performed to determine exempt status, and exempt position must pass both the salary basis and the duties test. So here is the example of the question to determine independent contracting. So legal considerations in compensations. So for 1963 Equal Pay Act, their goal is to ensure fair pay and prevent gender discrimination. For 1974 Employee Retirement Income Security Act, their goal is to keep employees' retirement savings safe. And the last one is other legislation affecting compensation. Their goal is to make sure all employees are treated fairly in terms of pay. So the other factors is union influence on compensation decisions. Unions negotiate salaries and benefits for employees through collective bargaining. For pay policies, each company has its own pay structure and policy. For example, how much they pay based on experience. And the last one is geography, which is where an employee works affect their pay. That's all from me.
Okay, I will continue about the job evaluation method. So first, what is a job evaluation method? Job evaluation methods is a systematic comparison done in order to determine the worth of one job relative to another. Okay, in basic job evaluation method, there is market-based approach, which is this approach determines pay by comparing jobs to external labor market, like what other companies are paying for similar jobs. For job evaluation, they have market competitive pay plan, which a pay system in which the employer's actual pay rates are competitive with those in the relevant labor market. And for salary surveys, It's a study used to find out how much other companies are paying for the same similar jobs. It helps employers know the current or average pay rates in the job market. Next is, this is PayData website. So as you guys can see, in sponsor they have salary.com, which it provides salary by job and zip code, plus job and description for hundreds of jobs. The downside is adapts national average by applying local cost of living differences. Other than that, they also have JobStar, which is what it provides is profession-specific salary surveys, and the downside is necessary to review numerous salary surveys for each profession. Next. So, what is compensable factors? Compensable factors are the things that help companies decide how much to pay for a job. For example, they look at the skills, effort, responsibility, and working condition need for the job. For instance, a machine operator needs more technical skills, works harder, and faces tougher conditions compared to an office assistant. Because of that, the machine operator should be paid more. This helps make sure salaries are fair for everyone. So next is preparing for the job evaluation. Job evaluation is a judgmental process and demand close cooperation among supervisor, HR specialists, and employees and union representatives. The main steps include identifying the need for the program, getting cooperation, and then choosing an evaluation committee. The committee then performs the actual evaluation. So here's our one of the job evaluation methods, which is ranking. So the ranking method is one of the simplest way to evaluate jobs. First, we obtain job information, which means collecting details about each job does. Then we select and group similar jobs together so it's easier to compare them. After that, we select compensable factors like skill, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. Next, we rank the job from the most important to the least important based on their overall value to the company. And finally, we combine all the ratings to get the final ranking list. This method is quick and easy, but it doesn't show how big the differences are between jobs. Next is job classification, which job classification is a method used to evaluate and organize jobs by putting them into groups or categories based on their type of work, skills, and responsibility level. Each group is called a class or a grade. Jobs that are similar in difficulty and responsibility are placed in the same class or grade. For example, high-level jobs with more responsibility are in higher grades, while simpler jobs are in lower grades. These methods help make sure employees are paid fairly according to the kind of work they do. Okay, so here's our job evaluation methods using point method. So the point method is a systematic way to evaluate jobs by giving points to different factors of a job, like skills, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. Each factor is divided into levels, and each level has a certain number of points. After that, all the points are added up to get the total score for each job, where jobs with higher total points are considered more valuable and should get higher pay. Okay, for example, wage curves. Wage curves show the relationship between the value of the job and the average wage paid for this job, while pay grades are a pay grade is comprised of jobs of approximately equal difficulty. Rate reach and the wage structure are a series of steps or levels within a pay grade, usually based on years of service. Next, this is a job. Lastly, is job evaluation method. For example, so okay, grade level for grade. As you guys can see, this is grade level example and plotting a wage curve example. Okay, that's all for me. I'm gonna pass this to Rachel. Thank you.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about the wage structure. So
here you can see how job evaluation helps organizations set fair pay for each role. The wave curve shows the relationship between job grades and pay rates. Each job has minimum pay rate and then a midpoint and also a maximum pay rate, so which helps maintain fairness and consistency across different positions. This structure ensures employees are paid according to the job value and contribution to the organization. Next.
So now we have the federal government salary table. So this is the example of the structured pay by grade. This is on 2025. So higher grades and steps reflect more responsibility and experience. So it demonstrates transparency and fairness in government pay system. It also promotes equal pay for similar roles across departments. So here are the pricing managerial and professional jobs. So compensating executives, managers and professionals. So factors influencing executive pay including performance, company size and industry. So it ensures competitive pay to attract and retain top talent. So the payroll administration ensures accurate and fairness distribution. Next. So then we have the contemporary topics in compensation. So competency-based pay rewards skills and abilities rather than job titles. So broad banding, it combines multiple pay grades into wider bands for flexibility. Then we have comparable work. It ensures equal pay for jobs of equal value. And then we have broad banded structure versus traditional pay grades. So traditional system is multiple narrow pay grades, and broad banding if fewer wider pay bands, like example band A and band B. So it provides more flexibility in managing employee movement and pay within bands. That is all from our group. Thank you.